So you started in social work. Can you tell me why you decided to do bodywork psychotherapy?
Yeah, I think I'd started in social work, and at the time, we're probably going back 25 years, there was an expectation to kind of fix people. And that idea that with your skill set, you could actually fix somebody else. And I think over time, I felt that that was kind of an ignorant attitude in a way. And as I got into social work, perhaps about 10 years in, I realised that people had their own problem solving abilities. And so by taking over their problem solving abilities, you actually disempowered them. So it wasn't a nice process for them. It actually made them feel weak and dependent. And that really concerned me. And I think I just got this bigger question going on of, how do we allow people to find their own problem solving abilities, their own skill sets? How can people be given the space and time to explore what ails them and to move through it and past it and start a new life that's not kind of dependent on the life that they'd lived in the past, or who they've been told they should be, or the kind of life that they're supposed to live. Yeah.
In exploring the body, you found that it had a different language, as Carl Jung had suggested, and this took you into exploring shamanism.
Yeah, it's true. I read a lot of psychotherapy and I read a lot of psychology, and I found that it was all kind of head language, and it's a hard term to define that, but what I discovered is that there was a much deeper intelligence going on in the body, and so that drew me into shamanism. And I loved the language in shamanism because they talked about if somebody had been through a severe trauma, that it created soul loss, like a sense of a part of ourselves that was missing. And then that had kind of connected with inner child work, because when I was doing my bodywork psychotherapy, we discovered that there was this inner child in all of us that lived inside, and sometimes that inner child was dependent and needy because it was broken and it was wounded, and sometimes that inner child was almost like a higher self, a guide, and it was pure, and it could show us the direction of our heart and our passion if only we would take the time to listen to how it was wounded and to kind of give it permission. So it's a bit like, yeah, it's okay, honey, that was an awful trauma. And so you can hold that part of you and you can allow that part of you, and then it feels safe and it feels nurtured. And so it feels like you can actually move on with your life. And as that occurs, it's like the child grows up inside you. And then with the shamanic work, it just got crazy. It got deeper and deeper. And what I saw was that sometimes people had things inside them which were not their own. They might have come from a past life or from the ancestral line. And so it was like, oh my God, this intelligent body just has all these hidden parts that we don't know anything about. And when we go in, it'll talk to us if we take the time to listen.
Yes, I found it was like kind of entering another world, and I think it will be a surprise to people.
I think it is, Carol, because I think, we live in a world where, we're brought up, and as children, as babies, we have this natural exploratory ability. It's like everything's slow, it's like those endless summers where you remember hearing the bees and the feel of the wind, and there's this sense of being connected to everything. And then as we grow up, it's like we're told, what our name is, who we're supposed to be, what job we're supposed to have. And it's like we move out of our heart, if you like, or out of that magical self and into like the pressure of this is who we're supposed to show up as and this is who we're supposed to be. But yet that part has never actually gone away. And while some people in the beginning find it really hard to connect to that part, and it might be, just a sense of, oh God, I do remember a time when I felt safe and I felt at peace. Other people kind of remember that world as home, and so it's like a homecoming for them. For people who've been deeply cut off, it's a little bit threatening in the beginning, because it's like, oh my God, there is this whole other part of myself I'd forgotten about or I didn't know was there. But as they start to integrate that part, it's like the body starts to relax and the breathing starts to slow down, and we just start to feel like we live in a world that perhaps is safer than the mind that we live in when we allow the small mind to terrorise us, and all our actions come from that place of being terrorised by the mind. Yeah.
Thank you, Gwen. I think people will find that really interesting, and I'm sure they'll want to know more.
Thanks, Carol. Yeah, that's great. And so people can contact me through my website and, arrange to have a chat about a session and just see if it's for them or not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.